The film opens with a woman named Clare who has a husband named Aidan and one child. Clare and Aidan are Irish and now prisoners of the English soldiers. Clare is granted conditional freedom, and in return, she must work as a servant for the English Army unit for 3 months, led by Lieutenant Hawkins. One night, an inspector arrives at their post to assess whether Hawkins is suitable to be promoted to captain of the colonial troops. That same night, Hawkins and his men hold a welcoming event, and Clare is tasked to sing due to her beautiful voice, and everyone enjoys her singing. After her performance, Hawkins calls Clare to his room. Inside, Hawkins orders Clare to satisfy his vile desires, but she refuses. She tells Hawkins that her service to him ended 3 months ago, and requests her letter of freedom. Hearing this, Hawkins becomes angry, slaps Clare, and states that it is his right to decide whether to free her or not. Afterward, Clare asks her husband Aidan to come home quickly. Upon arriving home, Aidan notices a bruise on Clare's neck. She claims she fell while cleaning the kitchen, but Aidan suspects Hawkins is responsible. The next morning, Aidan confronts Hawkins to request their letter of freedom, but he is denied. That evening, while Hawkins is drinking beer with his men, Aidan arrives drunk and demands Clare's freedom letter, only to be rejected again. Unable to accept this, Aidan strikes Hawkins and they fight. During the fight, a senior inspector witnesses the altercation and decides that Hawkins is unfit to be a captain in the colonial troops. Hawkins pleads with the inspector to reconsider the decision. The inspector tells Hawkins that if he wants to be a colonial captain, he must travel to the town to speak with his superior within the next 5 days. However, reaching the town requires passing through a forest inhabited by indigenous tribes, which could take more than 5 days. Enraged, Hawkins throws a tantrum and orders his men, Ruse and Jago, to prepare for their journey to the town. Before leaving, Hawkins instructs his men to visit Clare's house and prevent Aidan from escaping. Upon their arrival, Clare humbly asks Aidan to apologize to Hawkins for his actions. Reluctantly, Aidan apologizes to Hawkins. Still unsatisfied, Hawkins claims he has been sexually involved with Clare and then forces himself on her in front of Aidan. Afterward, Hawkins shoots Aidan dead. But that's not all. Hawkins orders his men to take turns with Clare and kill her child. After committing these atrocities, they leave Clare unconscious. The next morning, when Clare awakens, she is devastated to find her husband and child dead in such a horrific manner. Filled with rage and a desire for revenge against Hawkins, Clare sets out to find him, but he has already left for the town of Launceston. She reports the incident to the Royal Military Police official, but he doubts her story. Determined, Clare decides to pursue Hawkins into the forest to seek vengeance. She also asks Aidan's friend to join her in avenging their deaths. However, for some reasons, Aidan's friend couldn't help, but he suggested that Clare hire a local to guide her through the forest, as he knew all the routes. Clare was hesitant, fearing he might kill her due to her trauma from the murder of her husband and child. Aidan's friend then introduced her to Billy, assuring her that Billy wouldn't harm Clare. Initially, Billy refused to cooperate with Clare, known to them as White Skin. Promised a large reward, he agreed. Clare also lied about the purpose of their journey, telling Billy she wanted to meet her husband, a soldier in Launceston. If Billy knew Clare's real reason, he wouldn't have agreed to help. At the start of their journey, Clare was very cautious of Billy, especially during a time when racism was rampant. Along the way, Billy shared that before Clare arrived, Hawkins and 2 of his men had taken Billy's uncle as their guide. Meanwhile, Hawkins's subordinate, Ruse, kidnapped an indigenous woman walking in the forest with her child. Ruse asked Hawkins to take the woman with them to satisfy their depraved desires. Unfortunately, they were attacked by the indigenous tribe for kidnapping one of their women, resulting in the death of Hawkins' men, and Jago being injured in the leg. The tribe then asked for peace and the return of their woman. Not understanding their language, Hawkins shot the woman dead and fled with his men. Jago, unable to follow, was left behind. Elsewhere, Clare and Billy arrived at the site of Hawkins's earlier attack. They followed the blood trail and found Jago. Fueled by revenge for her family's murder, Clare shot Jago and repeatedly stabbed him to death. Billy, witnessing this, was frightened and quickly left Clare, saying he didn't want to be involved in the murder case. However, Clare begged Billy not to leave her, explaining that she killed Jago because he and his 2 friends had murdered her child and husband. Billy decided to stay and continued to accompany Claire on her quest for vengeance. Their relationship improved, and Claire was no longer wary of Billy. During their journey, Billy spotted a wakana bird and explained to Claire that it would show the way to the town. Meanwhile, Billy's uncle, their guide to the town, changed their route, leading them to the mountains and further away from the town. Hawkins and his men got lost. Annoyed by Billy's uncle's words, Ruse, without Hawkins' permission, shot Billy's uncle dead. This enraged Hawkins, who beat Ruse bloody, as only Billy's uncle knew the way to the town. They continued their journey without direction. Soon after, Billy and Claire found Hawkins and his group. As Claire was about to shoot Hawkins, she hesitated. Hawkins, seeing Claire, shot first, hitting her shoulder. Claire and Billy fled, with Billy instructing Claire to hide behind a large tree while he retrieved their horses nearby. When Billy successfully brought the horses, he was captured by Hawkins. Now Billy became their guide to the town. Eventually, they reached the main road to the town. Hawkins ordered a boy named Eddie to shoot Billy, but Billy managed to escape. Frustrated by his failure to kill Billy, Hawkins angrily shot Eddie dead. Meanwhile, Claire was alone and lost in the forest. On her way, she saw a wakana bird, which Claire remembered Billy had told her would lead to the town. She followed the bird and finally reached the main road. Soon after, Claire reunited with Billy, and they continued their journey to Launceston. In short, Claire eventually found Hawkins in the town, holding a meeting with his superior. There, Claire shamed Hawkins by revealing all he had done to her family. Everyone fell silent, listening to Claire. After she had satisfied her need to shame Hawkins, she left. That night, as Claire and Billy slept in the forest, Billy felt sympathy for Claire. He could no longer stay silent. Finally, Billy approached Hawkins and Ruse with the intent to kill. While Hawkins was distracted, Billy killed him with a spear. Then, when he was about to kill Ruse managed to shoot Billy, but he remained strong, walked up to Ruse and killed him with his spear. Claire and Billy then fled to the beach. There they sang and sat watching the sunset, and the film ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.